Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Allison Rouse, author of this little book right here. These other little books as well, where you can get all that down in my down in that link tree, down in the description. Check it out with all my funny ass merchandise. Fiddle about, use your fingers, create a little foreplay. Because you know you won't tap out. And thank you as always to everybody for just really being so awesome and so patient with me lately. I mean, depression is a real thing. And it's just been really overwhelming the past couple months. And I'm coming out on the, it's like a roller coaster. You just got to deal with it. You got to deal with your down cycles because you know the good times are coming. And sometimes you just feel so weighted down like heat exhaustion and you just can't even do the simplest things. So, but you guys have really helped me come out of it, just seeing the amazing, beautiful, lovely energy. So I am really, truly thankful for you guys. And I'm catching up slowly but surely with everybody, little by little. And I just am going to continue to keep answering every day as much as I can. Okay. So thank you guys so, so much, truly. I mean, I still am so everyday appreciative of everybody here so much. This wouldn't be the family without you that we have here. And we have an amazing fucking family, unlike a lot of other places where we're all involved with each other and having conversations and getting to know each other off this site as well, finding friendships outside. So it really truly means a whole lot to me that we're just this cool little rock place here. You guys, I wouldn't be able to do it without you. Thank you, all heart and soul. And you know what? We're going to go return to a series I have not done in a while. A series, the groupie series, where I talk about other groupies or I interview other groupies. And today we are going to talk about another. I'm not going to use the word groupie for her because she is very disdainful of that word and very high and mighty of it. And you'll understand why. And it's not necessarily a detriment to who she is, because this person has really gone out of her way to make a name for herself, and to really make a career out of what she does, in the backstage world. And good on her. Women in rock and roll are very creative like that. We are very much enjoy being our own bosses. But I'm kind of at odds because of something she said, and I'll put the link to the video down here. But we're going to talk about none other than Dorothy Stein, otherwise known as Dr. Dot, the biting masseuse of rock and roll. And you know what? We're going to finish off our little chi-chis because we love some good summertime chi-chis. And we are going to kick back, everybody. Grab your chi-chis, kick up your feet, and let's have a little cocktails and rocktails. Cheers, big ears. I mean, does anything else say margarita or summertime like a margarita? Vacation. It's just perfect on a hot day like this that it is out and it's humid where I'm at, but oh yeah, really absolutely delicious. Love it. Love the stemware. Like I said, these are the ones that Kristen sent me home with when I was out in LA doing the soft white underbelly interview. You can't really see that it's blue really, with the pink and back into blue. It's just really lovely, and they're so delicate, and I keep forgetting to use it because it's a beautiful glass. I absolutely love it. And from a beautiful sister. And like I said, we're going to talk about another rock and roll sister, Dr. Dot. A lot of you may know who she is. A lot of you may not know who she is. She keeps kind of a low profile while keeping a very high profile. I don't know what year she was born. I tried to find it. I've looked at her stuff on her TikTok. She does have a YouTube channel here as well that she posts regularly. I really, I was really on board with her 100% because she recently did a video in June. Because a lot of people kind of give her the same shit and ask her the same questions and dumb questions that need to be answered. And not that it's the trolls who ask these questions or who well, how old were you when? She's a couple years older than me. And if I'm correct, this story goes, because there's not a shit ton online about her. There's little snippets here and there. She's done a ton of interviews on different shows throughout the years, still doing them. I believe she would like a documentary to be done about her, but they're very expensive. I mean, of course, that's a subject that I have approached with Kristen's husband and Kristen and other avenues that, so I think that would be a good thing for her. But anyway, so Dr. Dot, so I think it was around 1983 when she very, very first met Def Leppard. She might have been in Florida, but she was raised in a small town in Connecticut. And that's kind of when she was sitting on the bus or had just walked up to the gig, was hanging out. And so when me and my friends don't have tickets, but I give a really killer massage. How about I massage for backstage passes and to see the show? And the band and crew were like, okay. And that's kind of how it started out for her. And she just, like I said, she ended up going to massage therapy school. And, you know, the thing about it, she had said something in the interview, the one that I'm going to put the link to down below from her channel. She said in this snippet, she's like, people call me a groupie, but I'm not, but okay, whatever. I don't suck dick to get backstage. Stop degrading us groupies. Fuck off. You know, this is where she lost me because she's a beautiful, strong, wonderful woman who is very, very outspoken and doesn't take shit. She has no shame in her life or anything she's done. And none of us should. None of us should. So don't shame me, you know, because you want to say that you didn't give blowjobs to get backstage, but you did trade yourself for passes. Every time you gave a massage for a pass, you used your hands as a commodity. So don't knock the sweet Connie ladies out there, you know. They enjoy it, they enjoy it. But that's where she kind of lost me. But let's kind of go back. She was from Connecticut. A lot of people were like giving her shit about she lived so many places, just like someone on Soft White Underbelly said. She was 14 and had a passport. Yeah. A lot of 14-year-olds, a lot of children have passports. Ask James Hetfield's kids when they first got their passports. Ask Dr. Dot when she got her first passport because she was the daughter of a Navy man. So they traveled a lot. They lived in a lot of places. Some families have relatives in other countries. They travel, so people get passports when they are young. So she was having to defend herself from the same thing. And it's like, why? Because even if her father was not a Navy man, it's still okay that people... I've lived in so many places as an adult because I don't go on vacation. I just move, you know? So people were kind of giving her shit about that, which don't give her shit about that. Her life has been her life and she's made something of it that a lot of people wouldn't have the cojones or the thought to do so. So I give her credit where all that is due. But so I don't know what her first backstage pass. I'm kind of confused and a little bit jumbled. I know that she has not slept with a lot of rock stars. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, she had said herself that when she was young, she looked at she heard the music, she looked at their pictures, and she was drawn to it. She was drawn to the rock world, which I think that's kind of how all of us, whether you're the rock star, the roadie, the groupie, the rock and roll masseuse, or the backup singer, or whatever. I think it's something that we all are drawn to. So I totally identify with her, and I was so identifying with her in so many things that she was saying in this one TikTok. And it'll be in the description. I'll put that link down there. And I was like, yeah, girl, you tell it. Because she moved around a lot for the Navy. She moved to Germany with her family. But before she moved to Germany, it was about 1983 when she walked into a gig around her hometown. I think it was somewhere in Connecticut. It might have been in New York. Might have been in Florida because I know she was down in Florida for a while. But and again, you'll see the video I'm talking about. So she walks into the gig and she's trying to look older. She's about 14 years old, 15 years old. I think she was 15, possibly 16. In a pink shirt, she's got her blonde hair. She's just got her up in a ponytail, it looks like in the picture, because there are pictures. And she walks in, and the tour manager goes out for the band and goes out and sees her. and thinks because of the genre of the band, this girl in the pink shirt and the blonde hair, he's like, she's got to be some sort of promoter from the radio show, because this isn't the typical girl that shows up at our gigs. And she says she was trying to look older, and she's in this pink in the middle of this black t-shirt, jeans, leather kind of world. So the tour manager goes back and says, hey, you guys got to see this chick. I swear she's with the radio station, because she's just so like a sore thumb standing out in the crowd of people out there. So, and the tour manager, she's giving him a massage while he's telling the story. So this is from the tour manager's mouth, and Dot's like, yep, because, and she's just going along with the story. They're just having a conversation. So then she goes back, and she had wanted that lead singer. And he brings her backstage, and she meets that lead singer. And his name was Joey Ramone. And they had a relationship for the next 2-3 years. He was seeing someone else, a Japanese girl. I think her name was Angela. But yeah, she lied to him. And girl, I was like, again, I was watching this TikTok video going, fuck yeah. This is another girl from the 80s who knew what she wanted, knew what she was drawn to, the tribe, the family, the world she was naturally drawn to. At the same age as a lot of us, like Diana, who's going to be coming on again, Desiree, who's going to be coming on again, Marie and Kristen, Kristen and I are going to be doing our first live, Danny, all of us had lied about our ages. And I just really applaud her for owning that, because a lot of people will give any of us shit about that. And we owned it. We were 15, but we knew what we wanted. She walked into that gig of the Ramones with her blonde hair and her pink clothes, trying to look like she was older, more sophisticated, and it was the best decision she ever made, because she walked backstage and she got her man for the next few years. And then she went back to school, and she was like, oh, I know Joey Ramone, and they're going to come and play. She's like, I'll get and come play in this tiny little fucking cornfield of a town in Connecticut that she lived in. And everybody's like, oh, you're so full of shit. You're such a liar. You're so full of it. And she was like, no. And she called up Joey, because they were talking all the time. And she's like, please, come and play here. Please. And he did. He came, and the Ramones played there, and they looked around after the show. I was like, what the fuck? But after the show, she was validated. Like, everybody in that town was like, all right, she wasn't lying. She really is dating Joey Ramone, and she got the Ramones to come up here and play. Girl, more power to you, because let me tell you, groupies, the ladies or other ladies backstage in rock and roll, trust me, we get those boys to do so much more. But then, she kind of just started hanging out backstage. She would go to the gigs. She would say, hey, and she ran into Frank Zappa. And he was like, where's the doctor? I need my hands massaged. Where's the doctor? And that's how he came up with Dr. Dot. So Frank Zappa gave her stage name, her rock and roll and business name, which is awesome. That's really cool. She's had some really crazy stories. And she's massaged everybody from Dave Gahan. I massaged him too, baby, but he didn't forget me. But because she says this, and this is, she went around her rock and roll fantasy. She met her husband in 1989. He was from Germany, and she had lived in Germany because of her father being in the Navy and stuff. And they ended up following the Grateful Dead and having a daughter together. So, I forget where, because I don't know how long she was married. I think I skipped that part, or she just didn't get into it too much. Because I do believe she's writing a book. So she moved to Germany, and she kept her little rock and roll massage business going. And a lot of people want to call her a slut. It's like, no, she was married, and she was faithful to her husband, or she had a boyfriend, and she was a mom who was still hanging out with her tribe, using her God-given talents to keep a business going and to support herself, her family, her kid, herself. And it's still been going on. But then, because a lot of people are like, well, yeah, I live between, because a lot of people can't grasp like living between two different places. Like when I was in Vegas, I would go to London a lot, or I had a place in Vegas and LA at the same time at some point. I gave up my place in Vegas, but then ended up moving back there. But anyway, and she did the same thing for a while. She would go between Germany and uh, New Jersey. And then in 2015, she just gave up everything in Germany and stayed. And now she just resides in New Jersey. But she still travels. She still does her thing, when the bands come through town or they fly her out. And she still has a business. I know she's been out in LA quite a bit. But that's kind of, we're jumping forward. Because, yeah, so she dated Joey Ramone and they stayed friends for a lot of years. Like when you go to her channel or her pages, you'll see pictures of Joey holding her daughter. And, that they stayed friends for a lot of years. Which God love her, because that's hard to do. Sometimes when things end with rockers, like with me and Glenn Tipton, fuck you, Glenn Tipton. I not want to stay friends with him. Parkinson's or not, I would still fucking tell him to go fuck his own asshole. So good on her, but she gained a lot of respect and she got a lot more people, there's this really word of mouth. There's this really killer massage therapist. She does bites because she bites with her massages because her mom, when she was little, would have her massage her back and stuff. But her mom was like, your hands aren't strong enough, so try biting it. So that's where she came up with her signature biting massage, which I've heard a couple things about it that it wasn't my thing, but you just have to tell her, and when she was in the video massaging the tour manager of the Ramones, she's not someone I would book a massage with. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really, really not. Because I was really on board with her. I think she's a beautiful woman. She's a strong woman. She definitely made her own career, her own life, her own business. She has a lot of people working with her now. She has massaged everybody. But she was like, in one of the clips on her channel, she's like, Mick Jagger said I'd be dangerous to be in a room alone with. Flicked her hair. Sweetie, he flirts with everybody. Okay. So that's when her attitude kind of, she started looking down and she's like, I'm not a groupie and I don't suck dick to get backstage. Well, neither do we. She's like, I have more significant relationships. Do you though? When this rock star's mother, when this drummer's mother died, he flew out to Vegas to hang out with me because he needed me to take care of him. Were you able to do that for any of your rockers besides Joey Ramone? Did you have 13-year-long relationships like I did with John Entwistle and bass player, who I didn't actually name on one of my current interviews? Go find it. So don't sit there and demean the groupie name by saying, because you just did exactly what every sheeple person in society does to groupies. You degraded us with your very diluted opinion of what a groupie really is. So what if someone was sweet conning being a sweet Connie? She was a fucking good person who had more respect and love than you do, which you have a lot of respect and love. But sweet Connie, you don't fuck with her in the rock world. You don't fuck with the likes of her. Let people live their own lives. You really she did a great job. Dot did a great job at really creating a good reputation for herself. Don't go tear down anybody else's. Why do that? Why do that to other women who own the groupie name, who have no shame in the groupie name? You are listed among groupies because before you were a licensed massage therapist, you were a groupie trading your talents to get backstage. You started off just like the rest of us. That's where she lost me. And I still don't dislike Dr. Dot. Like I said, there's a lot of things I really do like about her. Because she owns it. She's a no bullshit kind of woman. She's, a single mom that takes care of her kids. She's very, very no holds barred. She doesn't put up any airs, but the ego, when it comes to her separating herself from the groupies, back the fuck off. Like I said, that's where she lost me. Because she says, as soon as a woman gives it up to a rocker, she's yesterday's news, and nobody wants yesterday's news. Other ladies down in the description, tell me what you think about that saying. Because here's what I have to say about that, Dr. Dot. Why was I with Vincent Paul for 8 years? John Entwistle for 13 years. Other bass player for 13 years. James Hetfield and I had a thing for 5 years. Why were most of the rockers like with me for years if I was yesterday's old news? Because I think that she also got lost in the society's constrictions of what a groupie is. I think she's very much stuck in that headspace when she knows better, when she knows that groupies are not just dumb whores, jump off whores who were disposed of. And that pissed me off because you know better than that. She knows this world. She knows, yeah, rockers are going to talk about their groupies just like we talk about the rockers here in the description. It's all part of the bragging rights of sex, drugs, and rock and roll back then. You're not going to hear that I flew her out and we went out to dinner and I had such a great time at the Louvre with her. And I really love enjoying talking to her late nights when I'm feeling lonely on the road. She's the one I call. Of course, you're going to hear the rock star bragging about the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And in your mind, you're telling yourself, oh, that's how degrading. Groupies are doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. You're not the only woman in this world who's not a musician who gets respect or loved or home phone numbers or long-term relationships or flown around the world. Which, well done you. Like I said, in the 80s, we took groupie to the whole different level. And you definitely started out as a groupie. Not because you dated Joey Ramone, and there's a really cool picture of her at the 1983 or 4 MTV Music Awards, which she went to with Joey. But I was also there one year with Metallica, so I love who she is. I love her strength and the woman that she is, that she's comfortable in her own self, that she's brazen, no holds barred woman. I absolutely love that about her. I don't like her degradation of the groupies. I love that she has created her own business. She has people working for her, and she runs a very successful national massage business. But Kristen, met her in LA because Kristen she's an LPN. She has a massage therapy. She does a lot of different things. She worked in what do you call it? IVF, what's the word? People trying to have babies that can't have babies, infertility clinic. And she currently works with a lot of famous people in one of the jobs she does now that I'm not going to disclose. So she thought, you know what, when she got her massage therapy license, she's like, you know what? I'm going to apply for Dr. Dot. And she and I were talking on the phone. I'm like, you'd be perfect. Oh my God. And no, Dr. Dot was kind of rude to her, she said. And I'll have to reiterate this. I'll have to have Kristen, when we go on the live, you can ask her. But she was like, she just was kind of very convinced. She never got back to me. I called her a few times. She just totally ghosted me. She was really nice, but really kind of, I'm the rock star. You're going to be... She was just very egotistical, according to Kristen. So, and I didn't want to use that in this episode because that was not my experience, but it was, what was told to me from someone that I know that's met her. And another girl I know who desperately tried to hang on to any woman in rock and roll to try and get John Sykes or Robert Plant, which never happened, also became kind of friends with her and liked her very much and stayed in contact with her for a while. I don't know if they still are because I haven't talked to that girl in years and years and years. She was a plague. So you have to cut things out of your life. But yeah, so that was, there was two very differing opinions from two people I know that knew her. And, a couple people I know that got massages from her, she was okay. Don't fire your regular massage therapist. It did the trick at that point in time. But, like I said, it was very kind of like, I was so loving her. I was loving everything I saw till I went to her YouTube channel and saw that clip for the documentary she wants to make, and it's like, it's okay that we have drive, that we have confidence in ourselves, that we make our lives and that we own our prowess and our sexuality. But girl, come on, don't be knocking other girls in the rock world. We're not doing that to you. Don't beat us down. Because why? Because we chose our... Sorry, I had to stop for a second. But, it's like I said, why does she feel so superior to the groupie to be able to put us down when we're living pretty much the same life. I've talked about earlier that just because we were hanging out with the band there's so many more bands that I hung out with that I didn't sleep with anybody in, and just because we're groupies doesn't mean we get a different treatment than she may as the rock and roll massage therapist. For all I know, you could be treated like the hired help, the way you think we're treated like old news. But really, honestly, that statement and her attitude towards groupies was the only thing I really didn't like about her. Like I said, she seems like a very strong, independent, driven woman. She's traveled the world just like a lot of us have. She has made a life that many other people would love to live. I mean, and good for her. Well done her. She's got a 12-year-old son that she's a single mom to, and she seems to be happy in her life now, and I hope she does. I know she was talking about writing a book, so I hope she has written a book, or she is still writing that. I don't think she should give up on that or put that on a back burner, because I think that would be really interesting read for a lot of people. Just don't put groupies down in it, because you did start off as a groupie. But most women in rock and roll who are married or who do a lot of things, that's how they started out. We were drawn to this world. We just at the time, didn't have a whole lot of different avenues in which to join this world. And I think a lot of us women back then created certain new avenues. We created a different situation of respect. And I love that. I would love to hear Dr. Dot's stories about her and Joey Ramone. I mean, there's quite a few of them that she talks about on the her YouTube channel and on her TikTok and stuff. But I would love to hear more of her, because she said Joey Ramone was the only rock star she ever really dated. But did you ever slip up and just get along with a rocker so much and just want to have a one-night stand and have fun with anybody? I think she did, but that could just be my opinion. It doesn't mean she did. And I'm not degrading her for doing it, because fuck yeah, there's a lot of hot guys that a lot of women would be like, opportunity knocks, I'm opening the door. And nothing wrong with that, because again, why applaud the rock star but then degrade the groupie for doing exactly what the rock stars are doing, girl? Come on now. You use your hands outside of the knickers. We use our hands all over the body and inside the knickers. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, check her out. Check out her YouTube. Check out her TikTok. She really has a lot of interesting stories. She really has a great attitude about what she does. She doesn't take shit from anybody. So well done you, Dr. Dot. I love that. I love women who are strong and stand up for themselves and don't take any bullshit, So well done her. Like I said, she's very interesting. She's quite funny. She does have a good sense of humor. Watch her singing the Led Zeppelin with her band Bitch Fest. Tell me what you think. I'm not 100% sure on that. She's got a voice, definitely. But was Led Zeppelin a good choice for her voice? No, I think she's more of a Janis. She definitely can do some wailing, that's for sure. Definitely. And I hope she's still playing with Bitch Fest. I hope she's writing that book, and I hope that documentary gets made. Just like I hope my book gets signed for the movie or series deal. I think it would be great to have a whole different genre of us 80s ladies coming out and sharing our life story and our strengths and our fun and our laughter, and the fact that we fucking did it young. We did it on our own terms. So I think that's who she is. I think she's another one of us 80s ladies who definitely carved her own path in rock and roll, and that's awesome. Good for you, Dr. Dot. Just don't put us groupies down. Love you, bitch. Anyway, though I really do. I do respect her. I just don't respect that part of her. So, but tell me what you guys think. If you ever met Dr. Dot, if you know her, if you're friends with her, tell me what you think. Tell me if she is still writing, if she got the documentary, if she's writing her book, because I think that'd be a hell of a book to read. And tell me your experiences of how you got creative backstage to get backstage, because we know she wasn't the only one. So tell me, you guys, down in those comments. And for everybody that got to the end of the video, thank you so much. You guys rock. I really just am so lucky to have people that actually listen to me and share opinions and have adult conversations. It's awesome. I absolutely love it. I love the family here. And if you're just tripping onto the station, onto the channel, if you're just hanging about, lurking around, come on in, join the family. We've got a lot of awesome people. Introduce yourself. There's going to be plenty of other people that are going to be chatting you up just besides me. And I am catching up on all the comments, like I said. Like I said, depression is a real thing. And I'm coming out on the other side of the roller coaster right now. And glad because, like I said, just did a lot of doctor's appointments. I'm healthy. I have really no issues, touch wood, at almost 55 years old. So, cool beans. This is 55. Rock and roll. All right, you guys. Like I said, hit that subscribe, hit the share, hit my bells. And we'll see you next time on Cocktails Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.